Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another video. So in this lesson we're going to begin a new script, and this is going to be a position check script that will come in very handy later on, so best to get it done now. And I'll just show you what this script's going to do if I drag one of the shapes in. This script is not just going to get the position of the whole shape, it's also going to get the position of each individual cube within that shape. I'll just delete that back out. So let's come now to scripts, and we'll create a new C# script. And we'll call this position underscore check. And then we'll open that for editing. So let's begin by creating some variables. I'm going to create of type public and of type transform. I'm then going to open and close the square type of brackets, and what this does, it creates an array so we can actually store more than one variable within the same variable. So yeah, it just allows us to store multiple of within one definition. So let's call this underscore individual blocks. We'll close that off. Let's come to the comments and we'll put create an array to store, or let's put the transforms of all the blocks. You can put within a shape if you wish. Let's just copy that. That will make things easier. We'll paste that in below. And we're just going to change this to individual block positions. And this time it's not going to be of type transform. Instead it's going to be a type vector 3. And I'll just change that out in the comments. And that's all the variables we need for the moment. Let's come to the void start first. We'll get one more line in place to begin with. We'll say individual blocks is going to equal get components in children. We're going to open and close the triangular sort of brackets, and we're going to say in there transform, come to the end of the line. We'll open and close the standard type of brackets and close the line off. Now, a word of note, there's two variables. One is get component in children and components in children. Make sure that yours has this S in, otherwise the script will not work. So just a word of note, a very simple mistake to make, especially when using IntelliSense. We all do it. We use IntelliSense and then we realise that it's filled it out wrong. I meant to have the plural, so just be aware of that. I'll break this line up for commenting. We'll say set individual blocks to equal the transforms of all the blocks. You can put within the shapes if you wish. let's just save this off. We'll downsize this script, and what we need to do is come to resources, and we'll attach the script to all of the shapes. So it's just a case of clicking on each shape, add components, scripts, and then the new position check script. And the last one. So now with this script attached to all the shapes, let's hit play. And we'll wait for a block to spawn in. Let's just pause that. We'll click on the shape that's been spawned. Now I'll scroll down the position check script. And here you can see now this has been filled out. Now we've got of type 5. Because even though we're using in components in child, it's still getting the transform of the shape itself. So that's element 0, which is fine. But this is probably the most important part, that we're getting the values for each of the cubes. Now, we can't see the values at the moment, but we will do very shortly. When we convert them values to a vector 3. So, now we're going to... It's slightly different. We're going to say individual block positions is going to equal a new vector 3. And what we're going to do again is we're going to open and close brackets. Inside the brackets, we're going to say individual blocks dot length. Come to the end of the line, we'll close that line off. Again, this should be square type of brackets here and here. Again, we'll break this up for commenting. So we'll say set individual block positions to equal. And you can put a new vector 3 if you wish. And I'll put based on the, how shall I word this, length of array. The length of the, let's put length of the individual block array. So at this moment, we're not getting any values. When the script starts, there is no value for this array. We want the value to be the same value of the length, which we know is 5 in the block. So the length is how many blocks we are getting, which is 5. The main shape and 4 cubes afterwards. So all we're doing at this point is just expanding that length. So let's save that off. We'll just do that again. So as you can see, if I click now on the individual block positions, We have a value of 5, which is correct. The same length as this, 5 altogether. Remember, the first one's always classed as 0. But we have no values as of yet. Let's just stop that there. Now, I'm going to, for optimization's purposes, do this in the and I'll say it's private void. I'm going to use this time late update. The difference is once per second, once per frame. So the late update is perfectly fine for this. We don't need it running every single frame. So again, this is just a way of optimizing. And what we're going to do is say individual block positions, and then we're going to use the square brackets again. Inside those brackets we're going to say 0. So we're dealing now with one individual value, or one individual transform, should I say, which is multiple values in that array. So we're not dealing with the array completely. And then we're going to say equals the individual blocks, open and close square type of brackets, 0 again inside those brackets. So again, this is just dealing with one individual transform within one variable and one individual vector 3 inside another. And we're going to say dot transform dot position, close that line off. Again, I'll just break this up for commenting. Let's put this set individual block positions. I'll put value 0. Or you can put values stored in 0. In fact, I'll put stored in position 0 equals. I know I sometimes go on with the comments, but the reason I do this is as we get further along in this project, if you want to then make, you might want to make your own edits. I want you to be able to come back, read the comments that you've typed in. Hopefully they're similar, at least to mine. You know, you can always word them slightly different. They are your comments. And if you've forgotten what it does, you read the comment and it automatically reminds you exactly what we was doing with that piece of code. And so it may not seem so useful at the moment, but as the project increases in size, it can become very important, especially when you're learning to code. So please bear that in mind. With that said, we'll come to the line below now and we'll finish off these comments. That should be a singular equal to the values yeah, to values stored. I'll put the same in position 0. Let's I'm just sorry, I'm just trying to think how to word this. That are the transform dot position, and this is This is just because we're not getting all the transform values. So if I click on a shape, I'm not interested in getting the rotation values or the scale. I just want to know the position. So that's the reason why we put dot transform dot position. Obviously, if we used all the other variables, they wouldn't fit inside of vector 3. So yeah, again, just be aware of that, and yeah, obviously, you know, change your comments to whatever you feel you need to. So let's now have a look at this working. So we have all the individual blocks again and the individual block positions. So this will be the first one, which is the S-shaped. And as you can see, it matches the values here. Now the values aren't exist as a float at the moment. Obviously that shouldn't be the case, they should be an int. But again, that is an easy fix that we will get to. These sort of fixes, I like to sort of create the script and then come back and do these little fixes in between creating new things. I think it just breaks up the series, the videos. When I've done my other series, my audience seemed to like that. Obviously, if you have your own opinions, if you'd sooner me polish script up before moving on, please leave a comment, because that's fine. That's a legitimate way of doing things as well. And I'm always trying to make any sort of changes that my audience wants. So please always let me know with things like that. And as you can see, I'm just copying that line and pasting it in 4 more times. And I'll just tidy these up, and I'm sure you've all guessed what we're going to do. We're just going to go through and change the next line to have values of 1, both here and here. Make sure to change both within a line. And the next one for 3. And the next one is going to be 4. As I say, remember that the first one's always 0. I know most people know that, but some people that are really are beginners can sometimes forget this fact and then end up making mistakes. So I'll always try to keep reminding you all of that fact, just in case, just for those particular audience members. So just check, I think I saved that off. And now we should be able to see the positions of all the cubes within the shape. So let's have a look. O-shaped. So as you can see, the first one is right, it matches the shape itself. So, and then obviously we have the positions of the cubes. Now these will be slightly different because we're dealing, like, if I come here, we're dealing with local space within the shape. Which we don't want. We want world space, which is what we have. So while the values will match with the shape for element 0, They won't match the shape if we click on the cube, because this is within the shape itself, not within the world, which is the game scene. But I think you can see from the values here that they are working correctly. Again, it's just something you need to be aware of, the difference between local and world space. Again, if any of this seems confusing to you, please do go onto the Unity website. There are explanations on there which are often more in depth than I could do in these videos, so it's a very useful resource, so please do use it. But we'll leave it there for this lesson. As always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time. And as always, until then, bye for now.